Okay, restorative, wonderful. Okay, let's do our usual then. So just look around you, make sure you've got enough space to kind of physically do the class, and also that you're not going to feel too closed in. Bring yourself down onto your mats, and you were going to start lying down today. Well, I usually start seated in all my classes, and then this morning I started standing, and tonight we're starting lying down. I'm just branching out all over the place. So bringing yourself down onto your mats. So just bringing your palms out on either side of you. You're going to kind of starfish yourself a little bit. So you let your feet fall open, arms at your side, palms open, let those fingers spread. Feel yourself melt down into the mat. If I have any pregnant ladies with me, please make sure you've got a cushion to pop underneath head and shoulders if you're lying on your back. Just to make sure that you're not lying completely flat. You can also take a reclined bound angle, which is where you bring your knees open and your feet together, which is quite good if you're pregnant. Everyone else, bringing yourself down onto the mat, palms open, close those eyes, and let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Expand your abdomen and send all of that air down towards the bottom of your lungs, filling them like a glass all the way to the top. And as you exhale, reversing the breath, draw the navel in towards the spine. And again, inhale. And exhale. Start to tune into your breath and tune out all your outside distractions, thoughts and worries. Bring yourself into the moment, forgetting everything you did before or need to do after. This is your time. On your next inhale, I want you to take a little pause at the top of your breath before you exhale. So we're always teaching our bodies to breathe a little deeper, teaching our bodies to use the full capacity of our lungs, not waste any of that space. With every inhale, feel that breath washing through you as though it's cleansing you. And as you exhale, push out anything that isn't serving you in this moment. And again, inhale. And exhale. With every breath, I want you to start to feel yourself lengthen on the mat. You're getting longer. And with every exhale, I want you to sink deeper into the ground. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, sink deeper. Feeling yourself elongate, reaching through the fingers, reaching through the spine. Well, let's check in with our key tension points. They might not be as tense while you're lying on the mat. It's good to check in with them anyway, because we tend to hold on to stress in ways that maybe we don't even really pay attention to. So the first is your shoulders, just making sure they're drawing down away from the ears, allowing your neck to grow long. Feeling those shoulder blades grounding down into the mat, pulling away from the ears, melting like lava. And as you draw those shoulders down, feel the neck lengthen. Feel the jaw start to soften. Teeth unclenched. Make sure those back teeth aren't touching at all. Draw your tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Maybe you open your mouth slightly, like a little puppy. And start to soften your facial features. Try not to frown or furrow your brow unnecessarily. Allow your face to become gentle and neutral. And maybe to help keep our face neutral, we start to clear the mind. And if you need a visual, maybe you use an imaginary broom to sweep the mind clear of any clutter, any wandering thoughts, pushing it all out. And breathe, inhale. And on your next inhale, draw that right knee now in towards your chest. Take your hands around the knee and start to pull the knee in towards you. Gentle stretch down the front of your hamstrings. Feeling your spine flatten on the mat, keeping it nice and straight and flat as you pull that knee towards you. You can start to rotate that ankle. Loosen up the joints. Maybe wiggle your toes as you do it, just getting a little bit of mobility, a little bit of mobilizing to the joints. Get those synovial fluids start to flow. Send it both ways. And with every exhale, still drawing that knee in towards you a little bit deeper. Deep breath. Start to slowly drop that right knee open to the side. And as you do so, I want you to take that left hand and push down on your left hip bone. This will keep that hip nice and flat, which makes sure your pelvis stays neutral. Your spine stays flat on the mat. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And if you want to, you can straighten your leg here, so bring your fingers around your big toe. So instead of just opening the hips, you get a nice hamstring stretch as well. I want you to make sure that that spine stays flat, so it's very tempting in this stretch to start to lift that left hip. Don't let that happen. Keep pushing on that left hip bone, keep that spine nice and flat. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings, through the hips. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Really, really feel those hips melting open. The good thing about holding stretches for longer than we might in a flow class is that you get really deep into those areas. Take one more deep breath. Gently, keeping hold of the toe if you've got it, bring your knee back to center. And then you're going to straight that leg out towards the sky. Flex that right foot. So we're going to get a nice little stretch through the hamstring now. You've got options, hands on the back of your thigh, on the back of your calf, or reaching up if you're feeling flexible and taking hold of your toe. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings. This is a really good one for your knees, for nice healthy knees. Try not to put your hands on the back of your knees, speaking of knees. It's also really good to do before and after a run. It's one of the most effective hamstring stretches. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Make sure you're keeping it nice and flat, and exhale, pulling it towards you. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath here. Really get as deep into that stretch as you can. Drop the knee towards you. And then take that right knee across to the left. Reaching your right hand out and gazing down those right fingertips. So always look in the opposite direction of your legs when you're twisting. We get from the base of the spine all the way up to our neck that way. Inhale. And again, if you want to straighten out that top leg and take hold of your right toe with your left hand, by all means do if you've got the space, which I haven't. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, sink deep into that twist. And remember, when we twist, we're compressing our organs. We're allowing any toxins to be released. And when we let go of that twist and bring ourselves back to center, like we're doing now, bring yourself back to center, you're allowing fresh blood to run through those organs. Take your right ankle now to your left knee. And put your hands on the back of your left thigh. Start to draw that leg towards you. And as you do that, you're going to be pushing the right hip open and stretching that right glute. This is your reclined pigeon pose. Another really good one for runners. It's also good if you're preparing for splits and you're not very comfortable in your normal pigeon pose. This is a good one to just get your leg used to that position. Deep breath. I find reclined pigeon really satisfying. I don't know about you guys. Always remember, inhale to lengthen, exhale, get deeper into the stretch. So I think of it as inhale to prepare and exhale to go. Because when we exhale, our body allows us to melt a little deeper into the stretch. Just try it now. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, pull that leg towards you. And notice that you maybe go a little deeper. Take one more deep breath. Gently straight that right leg out and draw the left knee in towards you. Hug that knee into your chest. Maybe start with the rotations of your ankles, wiggle your toes, get a little bit of movement going. Keeping that spine nice and flat and always pulling the knee inwards on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rotating that ankle, wiggle those toes. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, let's start to drop that knee open to the side. So left knee open to the side. Take your right hand, place it on your right hip and just push down on that right hip bone to keep your pelvis neutral, keep your spine flat. And again, if you want to straight that left leg out and take hold of your foot with your left hand, if you've got space, if it's in your practice, then by all means do that, but make sure that right hip doesn't start to lift from the mat. So you want to keep those bum cheeks planted. You want to keep that spine nice and flat. You want to keep that pelvis neutral. So still keep that right hand down on the hip, pushing it down into the mat. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, feeling those hips open. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, bring that leg back to center. Start to roll that knee all the way over. Your left knee coming over to the right. Reach that left arm out and gaze down your left fingertips, feeling that twist from the base of your spine all the way up to your neck. And again, if you want to straighten out that top leg, taking hold of your left big toe with your right hand, which will get deep into your hips, into your hamstrings, as well as twisting that spine. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Feeling yourself melt into that twist. Really think there's nothing quite like a supine twist. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath. Gently back to center and then straight that left leg out, flexing the left foot. Hamstring stretch here, so your options, hands either on the back of your thigh, your calf, or reaching up to your big toe if you feel like that's in your practice today. And just remember as well, if something was in your practice yesterday, even this morning or last week, it doesn't have to be in your practice today. There's something about your ego that makes you think if you do something one time, you've got to do it every time. And I am guilty of that as well. It took a really long time for me to learn how to put my own body's health and how I'm feeling above my ego. So for example, today, I'm feeling pretty tight. We went for a really long walk yesterday. So I know that I can't reach for my big toe on the left side today. So I'm just gonna breathe into the parts of my body that I can stretch and just leave that for next week. So nice deep breath, inhale. And exhale, starting to pull yourself a little deeper into the stretch. Take one more breath here. And gently bend that left knee. Take the left ankle to your right knee. Hands on the back of your right thigh and start to pull that leg towards you. So we're getting into our hips and our glutes on the left side. Inhale, recline pigeon pose, exhale. And try and keep that left calf nice and straight. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale. Pulling that leg towards you. Opening up that hip, give me 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring your knees into a tabletop position. Take your right leg and you're going to cross it over your left. We're going to take a reclined cow face pose. So take hold of opposite feet and start to pull them apart and towards you at the same time. This stretch is really good for increasing mobility in your hips. Inhale, and as you exhale, pull the feet apart and towards you. And really feel that stretch through the outside of your hips. Inhale. And exhale. So we're stretching the right side of our hips this time, deep breath. Also another really good one for runners to do before or after you run. You need a good bit of hip mobility for all that running that we're doing at the moment. Deep breath. And gently bring yourself back to center, back to those tabletop knees. And this time the left leg is going to come over the top. Left knee over right knee. Take hold of those opposite toes. And apart and towards you. Start to pull them. Deep breath, inhale. Stretching the outside now of the left hip. And just feel that pull, it's quite satisfying. Inhale. And exhale. Really breathe into that stretch. Always trying to pull yourself a little deeper with every breath. And remembering the lovely thing about holding stretches for a long time. That you do get deeper into them than you would usually. Take a nice deep breath. Last one. Unwrap the feet. Draw those knees in towards your chest, Apanasana. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Release your spine. Lovely. Start to rock backwards and forwards. Bring yourself up into a seated position on your mats. Bring your palms onto your knees. And let's drop our chin down onto our chest. So we're stretching the back of our necks. Take a deep breath here. Try and keep your spine upright. Keep everything else nice and aligned. So only your chin goes down onto your chest. So don't curve the spine. Exhale, start to lift your head up towards the sky, rolling it the whole way back, stretching the front of your throat. Keep those shoulders down. Gently back to center. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Reach that right arm up and try and take hold of your left ear. Gently pull with your right hand so you're stretching down the left side of your neck. If you want to, you can reach that left arm out and take your fingers to the mat. You can also lift those fingers, keep them pointed. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Really nice deep inhale. And exhale, let go of the left ear. Now start to drop that left ear to your left shoulder. The left hand comes up, takes hold of the right ear and starts to gently pull, stretching down the right side of the neck. Reach that right arm out with your fingers to the mat, or lift them if you want to get a little deeper into the stretch. Feel energy coming out of those fingers. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Really nice, really feel that length through the arm. Gently bringing yourself back to center. Just give that head a little roll. You can either do half rolls from shoulder to shoulder or a full neck roll, whatever feels better for you. Some people find a full neck roll a little bit much, so you can just roll from shoulder to shoulder. So depending on the day, you might just want to do one shoulder roll rather than a full head roll. Bring yourself back to center. Give those shoulders a roll up to your ears, down your spine. Ears and spine. Imagine that you're drawing pictures with those shoulder blades as you roll them up and pull them down. Roll them up and pull them down. Just mobilizing every little inch of the body one at a time with nice gentle movements and stretches. Really nice. Reach your arms behind you. Pull your fingers together, interlacing them and opening out your chest. Opening that heart center. Pull those shoulder blades together behind you like chicken wings. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. exhale, really feel those shoulders pulling together. Chest open. One more breath. Unlace the fingers and bring your arms in line with your shoulders. Reach your fingers like you're trying to touch either side of the room and gently start to rotate the wrists either way. And as you do, just wiggle those fingers. Really nice. And then start to draw those fingers together, making a circle with your arms like you're hugging a giant beach ball. Interlace those fingers at the front, pulling the shoulders apart at the back, and drop the chin to the chest. And this time we are going to make a C shape with our spine. So we give those shoulders a nice stretch, pulling them right apart. Deep breath in. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And gently letting go. Bring your right hand behind you like a secondary spine. Nice little seated twist. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall, drop the shoulders down. Push that knee away and gaze all the way behind you. So I like to think of myself as a dirty dishcloth. So you're wringing out all of that dirty water, and when you let go of the twist, you're letting fresh water flow through. One of my favorite yoga teachers said that, and it really resonated with me, so I hope it resonates with you guys as well. Just getting rid of everything you don't want in that twist. And twists are quite energizing as well, so it's nice to think of it that way, like you're re-energizing your body by getting rid of the things you don't want. And just let go, bring yourself back to center. Let's take that left hand behind us as a secondary spine. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Keep those shoulders down, the neck long. Push that knee away and twist. And what I want you guys to remember is that that back arm is not a leaning post. It's just there to support you. So keeping yourself nice and upright, try not to collapse into that back arm. Gazing over that left shoulder. Inhale and exhale. Really nice deep breath. And push as deep as you can, looking all the way behind you. Really feel that twist. Nice and intense and deep. One more time. Back to center. Let's give ourselves a nice little lateral stretch while we're seated. While we're seated. Can't speak now. And reach those arms up towards the air in line with your ears. Interlace the fingers and just push them upwards. So like you're pushing the air away. It's always at this moment in the class that the sun looks really, really nice. It's just shining behind me. And then start to hinge across to the left, feeling that stretch down the right side of the body. And if you would like to, you can take your left hand to your right wrist and gently start to pull on that right wrist. So we're really getting deep into the stretch on the right hand side. Keep your bum cheeks glued down on the mat so you're not lifting the hip. And if you feel at any point like you start to lift the hip, just bring yourself gently out of the stretch. You want that stretch from hip to fingertip, all the way down the right side, hinging across to the left. Fingers trying to reach the other side of the room, pulling them towards the other side like you're trying to add inches onto the right side. Try and keep those shoulders down and the neck long. Deep breath. Inhale. Lovely. And exhale. Try not to collapse forward. One more breath. Bring yourself back to center. Switch hands so your right hand comes to the left wrist. Start to pull yourself across. Inhale. And exhale. Keep those bum cheeks planted. Remember, stretching from the hip to the fingertip, a nice lateral stretch all the way down the left side of the body. Keep the neck long, the shoulders down, arm in line with your ears. No collapsing forward. Imagining that top half of your body is in a toaster. That's how aligned you want to be. And reaching with those left fingers to try and touch the right side of the room. Deep breath. And exhale. Pulling yourself all the way across. Take one more breath. Gently bring yourself back to center. Well done. Take your palms, bring them in front of you. And untuck those legs. Bring yourself into an all fours position on the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Push down through the little fingers, the outside of your hands. Make sure wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips, and spine in a nice straight line. We're going to start with a little breath. Inhale. And exhale. And just feel as you're kneeling, as you're in your all fours, you're pushing the ground away. There's energy coming out of your knees, the tops of your feet, and your palms. Really feel like you're about to take off, you're about to lift up into the air as you breathe. Inhale, push that mat away. And exhale, try and keep that spine flat. Lovely, and then let's add a little bit of movement. Inhale, drop your navel to the floor, gaze up to the sky, opening up that heart center. Exhale, arching, crown of the head towards the floor. Spread the shoulders well. Inhale. And exhale. So if you enjoy the mobilization of the spine that we're doing now in our cat-cow, please continue. And if you want to add your own little bit to it, if you want to add your own little wiggle, if you want to get your little movements in time with your breath, really take this time to just get as weird as you like, get into all the nooks and crannies of your body that really need to be woken up. So you can really do whatever you want. If you want to get into your neck, by all means, maybe you want to get into your wrists, you can turn those wrists around. Good for if you're practicing hand balances at the moment. Bit of an acquired taste, but a really good wrist stretch. You can draw figures of 8 with your hips. Give that bum a little wiggle. You can bring yourself all the way forward into your cobra and push back into child's pose, whatever feels good for you. Whichever little bit of your body that you feel like needs waking up, maybe it's your shoulders, maybe it's your toes, whatever it is, really give it that little extra bit of a stretch now. And take that breath, let that breath guide you through it. Don't ever stop breathing nice and deeply. And take one more deep breath. Lovely, bring yourself back into that all fours position. And from here, you're going to take that right leg, bend the knee, flex the foot, and bring that leg out behind you. Let's start to open our hips, little circles here. We're just going to do circles forward first. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Really nice. And just bring that leg out behind you in a nice straight line, pointing the right toe. So I'm going to show you from the front. We're going to go into our gate pose just because I don't have room to do it. You're going to take that right leg and you're going to draw a little semicircle. Bring it all the way around so it's in line with your left knee. Start to walk the hands back and roll up through the spine. And before we raise our arms, I just want you to make sure those hips are aligned. So fingers and thumbs on the hip bone. And what I want you to make sure is that one's not dipping back and sticking your bum out. They're both squared to the front. And I also want you to make sure that one isn't higher than the other. They're nice and aligned. Once they're aligned, bring those arms up in line with your ears. Dropping the shoulders down. Deep breath, inhale. Start to hinge across to the right. Bring that right arm down your right leg. Left arm up and over. Left fingers pointing towards the wall. Making yourself a nice little half moon. So we're getting deeper into the stretch that we just did as we were seated. Really nice. And make sure you don't start dipping that hip back. You don't want to do that. You want to keep them nice and aligned. Feel that stretch from the hip all the way to the fingertip. Deep breath. Lovely. Well done. Really nice. And then very slowly take that left arm and bring it down onto the mat in line with your left knee. Reach that right arm up. So, straight line from wrist to wrist, shoulders stacked. And if you want to stay here, lovely. And those of you that would like to take it a little further, lift that right leg, bring the right arm out. Balancing here, core engaged, keep that body nice and straight. And those of you that are working on flexibility or want to go further still can bend that right knee. Bring that right hand behind you and kick the foot into your hand and just pull back, which will give you a shoulder stretch, a spine stretch. So if you're balancing, find a place to rest your gaze, a drishti, and hold here with me. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let go. Bring yourself back into that all fours position. Stack those joints. Flex the left foot, kick that left knee up behind you, and let's go with our circles. Forward first. 1, 2, 3, 4, back the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lovely. Straight that leg, point that left toe out behind you. Really nice. Draw a semicircle now. Left foot's going to come all the way around. Bring that left foot in line with the right knee and start to walk those hands back. Roll up through the spine. Bring those arms up in line with the ears. Drop the shoulders down. And let's do our hip alignment, so you can bring the fingers and thumbs onto the hips. Make sure that they're not wonky, so one's higher than the other, and make sure one isn't dropping back. Square to the front like car headlights, remember? Arms in line with your ears. Deep breath, inhale, start to hinge to the left. Reach that right arm up and over and keep yourself nice and aligned. Stretching now from hip all the way to fingertip. Nice little half moon shape, stretching that right side of the body. Well done, lovely. Breathe into it with every exhale. Try and get even deeper. Deep inhale. And exhale. And try not to collapse forward with your chest. Keep it nice and open. Deep breath, inhale. Really feel that stretch all the way down the right side. Take a nice deep breath. Bring that right arm now in line with the right knee. Yeah, no, that is what I meant. Sometimes I second guess myself. And shoulders stacked on top of each other, arms in a nice straight line from wrist to wrist. Really nice, well done. Keep that chest open, body aligned. If you want, you can lift that top leg, reach that top arm out. Nice straight line from finger to toe. Keep yourself nice and aligned. And if you want to go further still, bend the left knee, reach that left hand behind, take hold of the left foot and keep that left foot into your hand, giving yourself a stretch through the shoulder, through the spine. Deep breath, inhale, find a place to rest your gaze. And exhale, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently bringing yourself back into your all fours position. I'm just going to spin around because for some reason I much prefer talking to you guys from this side. And you're going to drop your heels, your bum down onto your heels and bring yourself into a kneeling position. So from here, we are going to take our thunderbolt. So you've got 2 options for thunderbolt. Option number 1 is literally this, where we are in a kneeling position, bum on your heels. And that might be enough for some of you. Kneeling is quite an intense pose on its own. If you guys would like to take it further, you can do thunderbolt with your toes tucked under. So that's literally tucking your toes under and sitting your bum on your heels, pushing into the backs of your feet, which pinches a little bit. And I know some of you find it a little bit intense. It is an intense stretch. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. Try and keep the spine straight, keep the palms on your knees. And the reason that we do this is because we are going to do toes pose afterwards, which is a good one for runners. So toes pose again is really intense, and what it does is it stretches the front of our feet, our arches and our shins. And it's really good because it helps with avoiding plantar fasciitis, which I never know if I'm saying properly, but what it is, it's a condition of the connective tissue in the feet that causes chronic heel and foot pain. So these stretches help with that. So just untuck those feet, sit the bum back on the heels, hands behind you, slight bend in the elbows, and start to lift those knees so you're rolling onto the tops of your feet. And if it is a little bit painful, just bring yourself back into a kneeling position or take a child's pose. And wherever you are, we're going to take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. Bring those hands in front. Bring the knees about hip width apart. Start to reach those arms out along the mat and send those sit bones up towards the sky, bringing your chest down, taking yourself into your extended puppy pose. So your feet and knees are parallel behind you, like train tracks. Extended puppy is getting into your chest, your abdomen, your shoulders, and the backs of your hamstrings. If you want to get deep into your shoulders, you can come up on your fingers, make them like little spiders. Always go straight ahead between your hands, drawing that chest towards the mat. And keep that navel drawn in, deep breath. And exhale. And you would think I'm still in Hackney, but I'm actually not. So those sirens are a new addition. Take a nice deep breath. Place the palms flat, draw the chest along the mat and bring yourself into your Sphinx pose. So palms flat, forearms down on the mat, drawing those shoulders down,
So Sphinx pose, what I want you to remember is we're not just stretching the top half of our body, so our chest and our abdomen, our shoulders. We are stretching those, but we also want to work on the lower half. So point the toes, which will engage through the lower half of the body, lifting the knees off the mat, which will get that nice engagement in your glutes, your hamstrings, your butt, your lower back. This is a lovely one for lower back pain. And if you want to get a little more out of this, if you're feeling like your back is super flexible and you want to push up into a cobra rather than a sphinx, then by all means do that. And we're going to take some breaths here. And if you would like to, you can take a little bit of movement here. So we're going to inhale, start to peel ourselves forward. And exhale, bring ourselves up. And remember, all of these are optional. So if you want to just stay in sphinx, by all means do. So peeling forward on the inhale. Exhale. And we'll go for 3 of those. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Dropping yourself back down onto your forearms. Take a little sphinx pose to engage. Point those toes, lift the knees. Feel that engagement in your butts. And we're just going to take a little shoulder stretch here. So you're going to bring that, actually I'm going to do it on the left first because then you can actually see what I'm doing. So you're going to bring that left arm out so it's in line with your mat. Roll onto your left hip and bring your left ear to the mat. I have a stupid hair today, so I actually can't bring my left ear to the mat. Bend your arm and come up on your right fingertips. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to roll into your left shoulder. So this is quite an intense shoulder stretch. I know a lot of you at the beginning of lockdown were asking for shoulder stretches, and this is by far the deepest shoulder stretch I've ever found, but it is intense. If at any point you feel like it's too much, just bring yourself back to sphinx. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that right leg and you're going to start to use it as a lever. So pulling the right leg back, you're going to roll deeper onto that left shoulder. I have no idea what's going on out there tonight. And if you want to, you can bend that knee, place the right foot flat, and start to roll even deeper. Pushing down on those right fingers. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, roll deeper into the left shoulder. And really, really feel those shoulders stretching. And give me one more breath here. And then gently pull yourself back to center. We take a little sphinx pose in the middle, so a little bit of engagement. Lifting those knees, point the toes, deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And now take that right arm in line with the mat and roll onto your right hip. Bringing your right ear to the mat. Use that left arm, bending it and using the fingertips to add a little lever so they can push you deeper into the stretch, make you roll deeper into that right shoulder. Also use the left leg, so drawing that left leg back, it's going to help you roll deeper. You can bend the left knee and place the foot flat, which will get you even deeper into the stretch. Really feel that stretch in the shoulders. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Give me one more deep breath here. Get as deep into that stretch as you can. And then gently bring yourself back to center. Take a little sphinx pose. Push down through the palms on your forearms. Engaging those legs, pointing the toes. So this is just going to pull the shoulders in at the opposite direction. Shoulders down, neck long, deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Pushing through the palms, you're just going to push yourself up into an upward facing dog. Good for your posture. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog, just give those feet a little walk out here. Drawing the navel into the spine, push into the outside of your palms. Shoulders away from the ears. Giving yourself a little wiggle. Slight bend in the knees, gaze straight ahead, and step, float, or jump between your hands. Bring yourself into a seat. Feet flat, knees bent, and start to peel yourself down onto the mat, one vertebra at a time, melting, melting, melting. Bring yourself down nice and slowly. Peeling yourself into a flat back, knees bent, feet flat, feet and knees hip width apart. We're going to take our shoulder bridge, As always, it's one of my favorite ones to finish with. Bring your arms down by your side, palms flat. Make sure the spine is flat, and if the spine is completely flat, you'll have a very gentle tilt to your pelvis. Bring the shoulders down, neck long, feet flat. I want you to make sure you keep those knees and feet nice and parallel, and you'll notice that if you do, you get that nice engagement in the glutes and the hamstrings. So inhale, and exhale, lift up through the pelvis as though someone's pulling you up by a string, sending those hips towards the sky. You can interlace your fingers and walk the shoulders together underneath your back if you want to. So the reason I like to finish with this, it's a bit of an all-rounder. So it's a good one for the shoulders, it's good for back bends, it's good for building hamstring and glute strength. It's amazing for the pelvic floor, so mamas or mamas-to-be, this is a really good one. For you, it's good for practicing your Kegel exercises, but more than anything, it's really good for stress, anxiety, and insomnia. So it's a nice one to finish with just before we go into Shavasana, and especially in the evenings when maybe we're winding down, getting ready for bed. And that tends to be bedtime, tends to be when things play on your mind. So this is a nice one to kind of calm the mind, calm the body, keep those hips nice and high. Remember, keep those feet and knees parallel. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Well done, everyone. Give me one more breath. Unlink the fingers, start to gently roll that spine back down onto the mat. Apanasana, knees into your chest. Gently rocking from side to side. Really nice. Take your knees into a tabletop position, arms out on either side. Drop both knees over to the left and gaze to the right. Giving yourself a little twist, a little supine twist. Breathe into that twist. And then gently take those knees across to the right. Gaze to the left. And bring yourself back to center and just bring your feet together like palms and let those knees drop open to the side into your reclined bound angle pose. And what this pose is good for is it gives us that feeling of being really open, and it increases blood flow to the pelvic floor. So just holding here for a couple of breaths. Inhale. And exhale, you can use your hands to just push those knees down if you want to, get those hips even more open. This is a particularly nice one for relaxing. And take one more deep breath. Gently bring those knees back towards you. One more little Apanasana, rocking from side to side, releasing the spine. Start to straight those legs, point the fingers, point the toes. Bring those arms above your head. You guys know the drill by now. Full body stretch. We always want to finish with a full body stretch, reaching from one side of the room to the other. And really put tension into your entire body. It really, really makes those limbs shake from how much you're stretching. Imagine someone's got you by the fingers, someone's got you by the toes, and they're not letting you get away. Everything I've told you to do, forget it. Draw those shoulders up towards your ears. Make the ugliest, most screwed up face you've ever made in your life. Tiny beady eyes, a million double chins, reaching. And the reason I tell you to do this is because it's really nice to just build up all of that tension that you have and throw it back into the universe. And if we do it every night, hopefully we feel a little bit lighter when we go to bed. So as well as all your physical tension, let's pour our mental tension in as well. What's annoying you? What's stressing you out? What's making you sad? Throw it all in. We're just going to throw it all back out into the universe. It's not a permanent fix, but it feels really nice to do. So keep stretching and throw in everything that's annoying you, everything that's been doing your head and everything that's upset you. Pour it all in and add to all your physical tension. Really, really, really reaching. Give you 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those arms down by your side, feet falling open. Melt into your mat. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. If you would like to get anything for your relaxation, for your Shavasana,
If you want to get blankets, if you want to get a drink, if you want to get socks, jumpers, cushions, dim the lights, pop on some music. And by all means do. And then bringing yourself back down onto your mat, however you'd like to take your Shavasana, although lying on your back really is a lovely way of doing it. If you're pregnant, lying on your left-hand side in a fetal position and pop a cushion between your knees. Bring those palms open, everybody, feet falling open, eyes closed. Let's bring ourselves back to where we were at the beginning of the class. Nice deep inhale through the nose to expand the abdomen. Filling our lungs like a glass. From the bottom all the way to the top. And exhale, reversing the breath, navel to spine. Inhale. And exhale. Start to tune out all your distractions. Let's try and neutralize our minds. Maybe take that broom again, sweep the mind clear. Check in with those tension points. Are your shoulders down? Is your jaw unlocked? Tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Facial features returning to that neutral position. Bring your attention down towards your feet, your toes. Allow them to unravel one by one. Ankles, calves, knees and thighs like weights on the mat. And dropping your spine down into the mat one vertebrae at a time, feeling it melt down like lava. From the base of your spine all the way up to your shoulders. And feel those shoulders melt down away from your ears, drawing down into the mat. Melting down like lava. Allow your neck to grow long. Facial features soft as your head becomes light. Jaw unlocked. Arms lightweight at your side with your fingers unraveled, palms open. Imagine someone's just taken the batteries straight out of you as you sink into the mat. And finally, take your attention to your chest and your abdomen. That slow and steady rise and fall of your breath. That gentle inhale and exhale. And focusing in on that rhythm and tuning out your surroundings. Take these moments just for you. As you inhale and exhale. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes to draw awareness back into your body. Hug your knees in towards your chest and gently rock from side to side to release the spine. Bring yourself all the way over onto the right hand side into a fetal position. And bringing yourself up to seated, palms on your knees, sitting tall. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, let out a deep sigh. And again, inhale. And one more time. Inhale. Biggest sigh. Draw your palms together at your heart center. Thank you all so much for sharing your Sunday evenings with me. As always, it was lovely. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Namaste. And if you do have any questions or comments, pop them there now and I will answer them right away.